In this video, we'll do the kitchen details next. So the kitchen details is very much similar to how we've created the details for the toilets. So we'll start with by creating a call out, and then just create a call out for the kitchen. Okay, let me just move this out. So just be aware that this will have numbers once we add this to the sheets. Okay, so just make sure it's located where we can read the numbers clearly. And then once you have this, you'll get this new plan. Let's rename this. So right click and rename this to kitchen plan. Double click and we'll work on this. Okay, so currently it's showing some of the section cuts that is not related to the kitchen. So we need to select each one of these and hide them in your view. So right click and hide in view elements. And this one as well, hide in view elements. Okay, and we can, well, we have set a view template. Well, we have not set a view template yet for enlarged plans. Since we have a view set already here in our toilet plan, let's create a view template so that we can also use the same look for our kitchen plan. So on our typical toilet plan, let's go to the view tab, click on view templates and click create template from current view. And let's call this as our enlarged plan. Press OK. And then what we want here is, let's just uncheck this one. This is shadows. There will be no shadows. Model display. Yeah, sketch lighting. Let me just check what this is. Okay, let's okay, so the only thing we want checked here is the detail level, the overrides model, the overrides annotation, and the model display. So just 4. Press OK. And then set the view template for the typical toilet to be an enlarged plan. And let's go back to the kitchen plan and set the same view template. Enlarge plan, press OK, so that it will look this way. Right, let's see how it looks with thin lines deactivated. So I'll type DL. Okay, so another thing that I usually do this at the start actually. So I've just forgot to have this set. I usually make the structural columns thicker. So I usually want the structural elements of the plan to be thicker than the rest of the drawings. So I'll go to the Manage tab to do this. Go to the Object Styles and look for structural columns on the Model Objects tab. Okay, I just want to, currently it's using a cut of 1. So if you compare this to a point of the TechPen, this is 0.1, so this is thin. I want this to be thick. Maybe let's use a 5 thickness for the columns, and let's press OK. So this one looks like this, right? A thicker drawing for or heavier look for the structural columns. So this looks fine. And let's hide the crop region. Okay. So next, let's add the section or wall sections or the sectional cuts. But instead of using the section cut, let's use the elevation marker instead, so that you'll see another option of creating a wall section or wall elevations. So activate this elevation, and we have another type of elevation right here. So the general elevation for the whole house, we used a building elevation type, but you should have an interior elevation right here. This uses a smaller symbol. If you compare this to the building elevation, this one's bigger, has a bigger radius, and that changes back to interior elevation. If we click this, the arrows are not shaded on this symbol, and you will get a new group which is called elevations, interior elevation. Okay, so for our kitchen, since we only have 3 sides to show, let's include this side. Let's check this part. I will have to create a new marker, because if I use the same marker, it will overlap with the drawing. So create a new elevation. Okay, don't worry. Let's just create a new one first. Click the circle, uncheck this, and press OK. Check the opposite side. Okay, and then adjust its location so that it's looking this way. So if if I was to use this one, the symbol will be overlapping with the drawing. So you should have 3 elevations right here. Let's just rename this so that it's more descriptive. So I'll go to the view name. So to rename any views in your project browser, you can either click once it's highlighted. Click once to be able to edit the text. You can also right click on it and click rename, or you can go to the properties palette and change the view name from here. So those are 3 options on how to rename views in your project browser. So I'll call this as my kitchen section 1. And this one, I'll call this as kitchen section 2. This one will be kitchen section 3. There you go. Okay, and then let's add dimensions to this. So the same way, the same procedure, the same procedures that we've done for our toilet and bath. This is we'll do the same for the kitchen. So dimension this. I'll dimension from the grid and the wall. I'll dimension the counter. Okay. And from the grid to grid, maybe. And counters. And the wall. This one's the line for the backsplash. I want to dimension the wall, not the backsplash. So this one's probably dimensioning the backsplash. This one's right, correct. Okay, so let's go back in here. DI, let's dimension the whole counter size. Okay, this right here, this, and since my refrigerator is movable, don't need to dimension that anymore. And the whole length of this counter, and the length of this center island, and there you go. And then for the floor finish, let's add a text. Okay, let's use a left line and let's add it here. This one's using a 600 by 600 porcelain tiles. Okay, so my text got cut off from the crop region, so I'll just adjust the annotation crop right there, and maybe TX, and then label the countertop. Let's use a granite countertop. So at this point, just label all the items that you can label. that makes sense to label. And let's label this. Let's call this as our range. Or this should be gas range. Gas range. Okay, and then let's align the text so that it looks better like this. Text that's also labeled the refrigerator. Refrigerator. And yeah. Okay, so let's go to each of the elevation sections. So we only have 3 elevations, wall elevations. So let's go to each one of them. And let's adjust the crop region to show the floor thickness partially. Let's do this. Okay. And just the kitchen part. And let's use a view template for this. I'll just highlight all the 3 sections so that we can do them. Change the view templates all at the same time. Let's do the enlarge elevation for this. And that's like this. And let me, I'll turn off my, activate my thin lines for this so that I can easily dimension the things. Type TL. And let's see. Okay. Partially show the wall and hide the crop region. So we have this section markers that are showing up in here that are not related to the kitchen. So let's hide this. Hide in view, this one as well. Hide in view and adjust the grids. Adjust the levels. So in your wall section or wall elevation, all you need to do is to add the dimensions, the height dimensions, DI. So dimension for the countertop, the splashboard, the overhead cabinet, its height, and the ceiling, and the overall ceiling height. And let's add a description. So for the let's align right. And let's call out the finish for the cabinets. Let's say we want to use laminated cabinet door. Laminated finish cabinet door. And let's make this smaller. TX, this one as well. Laminated finish cabinet door. Okay. In the wall, we can label this as a painted wall. Okay, so I'll speed up this video and to and finish the rest of the 2 other wall sections. Okay, so we're back. Okay, so if you all notice that the columns right here is showing its surface with a dotted surface. So let me just modify the enlarged elevation view template. I'll go to my overrides model and just look for structural columns. And under the patterns on the projection surface column, I'll override this and uncheck the visible for the pattern. Press OK and OK and OK. Right. So let me just show you what I did. So this is a kitchen section 1. We have section number 2. And you can also, just like how we I've explained it to you in the elevation section videos or the module. You can adjust add the far clipping line. So let me go back to the kitchen plan. So for this one, I would like to adjust this so that it won't show the railing behind this counter. So let me just show you what I mean by that. So currently it was showing this before in the curtain wall behind that. So I don't want this to show up in my view, so that there are less details in my drawing to think about. Just like that. And then you can also do the same for the other drawings as well. But for this, I think the other sections are looking fine. So I only need to change it in this view. Okay, so that it only shows the island counter. Okay, and the one more thing that I usually add to my kitchen detail is I usually add a kitchen section or an isometric drawing of the kitchen so that the contractor can visualize it in 3D. So in my kitchen plan, what I can do in here is to make a selection and activate the selection box by typing BX. And then just adjust the section box so that it only shows kitchen. So I'm just adjusting this just like this, and you can apply. So let's rename this. Let's rename this as our kitchen isometric. And let's just rotate the view, orbit the view. Maybe choose this 3D, or let's just show one side. You can do more than one actually. So if you want to show the other side as well, let's just do one side, one corner. And we can lock this orientation and view. And let's apply the same black and white view template for the 3D. Press OK. And we can hide the section box in this view. So right click, hide in view, and click elements. And save your files. Alright, so we're done for the week. Save this as exercise number 6 and then submit this in the Dropbox section of the module. And then I'll see you in next week for another set of videos.